Hello, I'm Colleen Gallagher, CEO at OnWrd Upwrd, and you're listening to the Association Insights podcast powered by OnWrd Upwrd, where each week we interview association leaders from across the country to hear how they're trying new things, taking big risks, and delivering value for their members. We'll explore the realities of what it means to work in and with associations and bring you the insights and inspiration you need to advance your career and make big changes at your association. Let's get started. Welcome back to the Association Insights podcast powered by OnWrd Upwrd. I'm your host, Colleen Gallagher. It's been a little while since I've done a deeper episode on AI, and I wanted to revisit it. You all know this is one of my favorite topics, but also things are changing so quickly in this world that I don't think it's helpful to react every week. But now that we're a few months into the year and I'm seeing how a lot of associations are actually using AI in their communications and PR strategies, I did want to take a step back and talk about what's working, where teams are getting real value, where I'm seeing some challenges, and what I think matters most right now. Because AI is no longer a should we use it conversation. It's a how are we using it well conversation. And I know there are still some AI doubters out there. I'm not telling you to turn the keys over to AI and let it do everything. I'm telling you to use it strategically and smartly and in a way that supports your efforts and makes the work you already do better. When it comes to PR, I would say that AI is accelerating PR, but certainly not replacing it. So I want to start there because I think that's still a really big misconception. You hear that constant everyone's losing their jobs refrain and what's going to happen. And then the next day you see something where AI messed up and it's, oh, this will never replace anyone. So it's hard to say, but for certain, for the time being, AI is not replacing PR, but boy, is it accelerating it. It's making research faster, drafting faster, monitoring more efficient, and in some cases, it's even making decision-making faster. But what it's not doing is replacing judgment, relationships, or credibility. Though if you follow the For Immediate Release podcast in the PR world, they had a really interesting episode this year on executive level people at organizations making decisions solely based on the judgment of their AI, whatever AI of choice. So there are certainly people doing that. I don't think that's the majority of folks out there, but it's something worth watching and paying attention to. And, you know, when I say it's not replacing that judgment there with PR, it's also not replacing relationships and it's not replacing credibility for sure. So those are the things that actually make PR work. You don't have PR without relationships and without credibility. So I would say the associations that are getting the most out of AI right now are the ones that they're not trying to automate everything, but they are trying to create more time for the work that actually matters. So if we want to get really practical, because this is where I think things have become clearer over the past few months, faster, smarter media monitoring. AI tools can just scan hundreds of outlets, surface breaking news, identify trends early, much faster than any manual process. And if you're using tools like Muckrack or Cision, you've seen that they built AI right into their tools and it's making them better. It's serving up more of what you need when you need it and information that can be helpful. You know, more importantly, I think what we're seeing with AI is that it can help you understand when your media monitoring is the story gaining traction, a quick look at who's covering it, and is this something we should engage with? And for me, that's a huge advantage when it comes to being able to newsjack, provide timely commentary, and really just staying relevant in fast-moving conversations. If you have been listening to my podcast for a while, you know over a year ago, I said one of my favorite things to do is ask AI that has been trained on a specific client, hey, what is happening in the news right now that I should be pitching X client for? And 9 times out of 10, it has given me a good idea that I'm able to pitch and land a hit on, which is just amazing to me. So where else is it working? For refining messaging, not just drafting it. I know a lot of people have issues with how AI writes, but AI is great at helping you tighten your language, test out different headlines, create variations of messaging. And where I've seen it be most valuable is when you need to really pressure test your thinking. So asking it, does this make sense? How would it land with this audience or this audience? Am I missing something here? That forces a level of clarity that's actually really helpful. One of the things we've started doing with it is we put our pitches in and say, go shorter, go tighter. And we do this 3 or 4 times till we have a 2 to 3 sentence pitch. I've always believed that you need to, be short and brief with reporters to have a successful pitch, but we've never gone this short before, and we're having incredible success with it because we are getting right to the point. We're telling reporters what matters, what they need to know, and it's working. We're hearing back, we're landing stories, so it's definitely helpful on that front. And it's similar to that, it can help with that personalization at scale, which for PR is huge because you have to send out 1 million pitches. And how are you going to personalize all of those beyond the high first name, which we know doesn't do anything when it comes to personalization anyways? But AI can help you much more quickly to analyze reporter preferences, tailor your outreach, adjust the tone, and really make it so that your pitches aren't mass emails. It's going to make them feel considered, and it's going to make that seem what you're saying matters more than ever. Especially in this crowded media environment, that's what you have to do to stand out and get noticed. So another area where it can really help you, and to get specific with that, I've grabbed 3 or 4 articles from a reporter I want to reach out to, and I've sent the generic pitch I have written and ready to go, put those articles in and said, help me tailor it based on what they've been covering. And again, the results are incredible. And the time that would take for me to do for every reporter on those lists, it just, there's no comparison. So it really, really, really speeds up that process and helps with personalization and efficiency on that end. Looking at back-end efficiency, maybe a little less exciting, but also super important. So AI is saving teams time on media list updates, sentiment tracking, content repurposing, reporting, and that time savings, that's going to allow your team to focus on strategy instead of execution. I have to tell you, we use MockRock for our reporter database, and I was a little skeptical of their AI-enhanced media recommendations. But sometimes it's really spot on. I was very impressed on the last pitch I put out, which had recommended a few reporters for removal from my list and a few reporters for ads, and it gives you the details for why it's saying that. I think I took 75% of their recommendations. I mean, it was really spot on in some cases. In other cases, I don't think the recommendation made sense, but I declined it. So it's there to be helpful. It's there to make your work quicker and to make you smarter in your outreach. So now let's talk about where things might not be working so well, because this is just as important. And that's voice and authenticity. And I think one of the biggest risks we're hearing and seeing right now with AI is that everything starts to sound the same. AI generated content can feel polished, clean, technically correct, but also generic, and the same thing you're seeing everywhere. And for associations, that's a huge problem because your value is your perspective. It's your expertise. It's that connection you have to your members. So if you're not actively training AI on your voice, providing it context, and then refining the outputs you get, you're going to lose what makes your communication so effective in the first place. So I think that's a really important piece to focus on with AI and make sure you avoid the pitfalls there. Another piece is over-reliance on AI for first drafts. So AI is a great starting point or a great refinement tool, but I am seeing some teams that rely on it too heavily and skip that step that matters most, and that's the human review and refinement. Because AI doesn't understand nuance, it doesn't know industry dynamics, political sensitivity, or just organizational context for your membership. That part still requires people, and you don't want to mess up on that because that hurts your overall credibility. And I think another area where we're seeing challenges with AI is speed, but without any strategy. This is a big one for me. AI makes it so easy to move quickly, produce more, respond faster, and go, go, go. But speed without strategy, that can hurt you. Because if you're reacting to everything without any clear priorities or consistent messaging, you're going to start to feel scattered And that's another piece that's going to impact your credibility. So some important things to think about and to just be cognizant of as you're using AI more in your association. Looking ahead, and even a little bit what we're already seeing, AI is starting to play a bigger role in advocacy strategy, from understanding sentiment to maybe mapping influence and really predicting traction. We're seeing it play a big role in executive communications, helping structure messages, but really requiring those strong guardrails and voice authenticity that we talked about earlier. I'm seeing it used in media training really effectively for simulating interviews or refining responses and just getting ready for that interview prep that used to take a while, that now is not only quick, but can help you think of questions you might not have thought of that a reporter could ask. And then I'm also seeing visibility in AI-driven search. So people are paying attention to this, and where your earned media and content are going to influence how you show up. So it's a big deal to be out there in earned media, because more and more people are using AI search over Google or other search forms. So, it's getting bigger, not smaller here. You've got to pay attention to it. And associations that figure this out early, they're going to have a real advantage. If I had to boil all this down, I'd say there are a few things that matter most right now in my eyes. You've got to use AI to support your thinking, not to replace it. You absolutely have to protect your voice and your perspective. You've got to prioritize strategy over speed. And you got to keep humans at the center of the process, because AI can make you faster, but it's your judgment that makes you credible. So I'll close with this because I think this is where the conversation needs to go next. We're at a point where the vast majority of teams are experimenting already. Some are seeing real success. Others are still figuring it out. So I would love to hear from you. How is your association actually using AI right now? Tell me where it's working, how it's saving you time, where is it falling short, and where are you still unsure how to use it? You can shoot me an email, info@onwardupwrd.com, or you can find my email on the website too. You can send me a LinkedIn message. I'm on LinkedIn all the time. Leave a comment on any of our LinkedIns or anything you can. I really genuinely want to hear what you're up to, what's working well, what's not, because I think the most valuable insights right now are really coming from what people are actually doing, not just this idea of what we think we should be doing. So again, please do reach out and share your experience. I would love to hear what you're seeing and doing. And with that, thanks for tuning in once again for this week's Association Insights podcast, powered by OnWrd Upwrd. I'll see you on the next episode.
And that's a wrap for today's episode. The Association Insights podcast, powered by OnWrd Upwrd, is a production of OnWrd Upwrd Marketing and Communications, where our mission is to make associations and nonprofits the go-to source in their industries through earned media and thought leadership. This podcast is an extension of our newsletter, a weekly collection of best practices, top trends, helpful ideas, and smart strategies delivered straight to your inbox. Have you undertaken a big change at your association? Or do you have some words of wisdom from the trenches of association life? Well, we want to hear from you, and so do our listeners. Drop us a note at info@onwardupwrd.com. That's info@onwrdupwrd.com. Be sure to subscribe, give us a 5-star review, and share with your friends and colleagues. We're available anywhere podcasts are found. Come back next week for more association inspiration and insights. Thanks for tuning in.